This is a Dusty Radio special report. Ladies and gentlemen, it appears that the joke is on us. Recent reports and sightings have indicated an increasing number of clowns on the eastern coast and in the northwest. Today I bring in my special analyst, Daniel Ryan. Daniel Ryan is in the building today. Hello, Daniel Ryan. I wish we could have you here under better circumstances, but unfortunately today that is not the case. We're going to jump right in. This all started with Gags the Clown in Green Bay, Wisconsin. There was an eerie clown who would linger around dark areas late at night with a sinister look on his face and 4 black balloons. This came, this went. There was a Facebook page. You can like that now on Facebook, Gags the Clown, Green Bay. And we thought nothing of it. And then about a week ago, in Greenville, South Carolina, there was reports of a clown offering them cash money to go into the deep dark part of the woods. And it has been reported by several news outlets that he was trying to lead them to a dark, abandoned house with a pond. Parents have since went and checked out this establishment themselves and have heard reports of chains rattling and beats on the door. So far, there have been no confirmations by officers. And then, another incident, not too far away. Where was that at again? It was in New Hampshire. Yeah. There was one in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire was and it was only 2 days ago.
That was 2 days ago in New Hampshire. And the police are not taking this lightly. They have upped their patrols. And I know what you're thinking. This may be silly. They're just guys and clowns. But guys, believe me, I wouldn't have Daniel Ryan here today if this weren't a big deal. Daniel, you are an expert on the way that clowns migrate and their hunger and appetite, if that is correct. Since a child, you were a lover of Ringling and Barnum and Brothers Circus.
It's Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Oh, okay. And you know the migration patterns of these clowns. You know when it's time to feed. You know when it's time to mate. And every once in a blue moon, that's what we call this, the blue moon, where the paths line up perfectly, where these clowns are hungry and horny at the same time. And now they're migrating. Where do you see these clowns going next?
We started in Wisconsin.
Yes, Gags, Wisconsin.
And then Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, yes.
Because we had another situation in Rhode Island where a guy was standing in the town. And then New Hampshire, or South Carolina, and then New Hampshire. But those are very close, so they could be the same pattern.
It could be the same pattern. Well, this broke a day ago. I'm just finding this. I'm going to link us over to a clip. There was a report of another ominous, creepy clown in Winston-Salem.
Well, the first sighting was here in this wooded area behind me off East 29th Street. The clown reportedly offering kids treats to lure them inside. Police got the call around 8:30 last night. They say that 2 children reported seeing the clown, at least one other person hearing him. The clown taking off when police got here. Police say they searched the area here on 29th Street but couldn't find him. Some 4 hours later, a second sighting, this time on Hope Lane, about 2 miles away. An anonymous caller spotting a clown nearby. Police are still investigating the sightings with no arrests so far, leaving parents and kids in both neighborhoods scared.
So it went from South Carolina
to North Carolina.
North Carolina. So
it's gone down and then come back up some.
So it's going to go Virginia, and then the mountains detour the patterns. So it's going to hook. There's going to be a dramatic hook, and you know this. I don't want to be the one to have to say it, but we'll go more to the clips.
These kids was so terrified.
This is Lakeisha Smith.
That this man actually tried to lure them in the woods. I was scared, and I was scared and mad at the same time. You know, I wanted to get them myself. I have a 4-year-old granddaughter that I'm raising, and she loves candy, she loves clowns, she loves all colorful things. So if that would have been her going in there, and I wouldn't have been able to find my baby, that's heartbreaking for a parent to lose their child. I've lost one. I don't plan on losing another one. This would.
So this woman has lost one child to the clowns already.
So here's the other thing that we're missing. So in Winston-Salem, it didn't just happen once. So it happened The first incident was seen by 2 kids on the 1200 block of East 29th Street on Highway 52 about 8:30 p.m.
You got to really pay attention to the time. 8:30 p.m.
And then the second sighting was after midnight on the 1600 block of Hope Lane, 2 miles from the first sighting.
Okay, now you take the time and the miles, and you add those together, and then divide by the square root of clowns, and you're gonna see this violent hook.
So it was a both spots where clowns were reported were very residential areas near parks and woods.
See, that's the thing. They're in the woods. These clowns are in the
Oh
woods.
yeah. So we see clowns as in the circuses and you know, at your birthday parties and stuff, but they have a natural habitat here. Like, you know, they just don't, you know, go home at night and like just sit, you know, and take their makeup off and stuff like that. That's just not how it works.
No, they go to the woods.
No,
they
live
live in
the woods.
And that's what I was trying to say earlier about this violent hook. Whenever you divide the square root by clown, they're going to hit the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah, that's a bad day.
And they're going to hook back down. And they are going to hit Knoxville. And once they hit Knoxville, it's only a matter of time before they're in Dunlap. And once they get to Dunlap, we're fucked. And I'm not trying to spread panic here, but I thought I saw a clown on North Road.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
I told you about that. And
which is why you called me to ask me about it.
Because I believe that this is a real pandemic. This is a situation that we need to get ahead of immediately. The Greenville police have upped their patrols, and I'm calling for our local leaders to take this into consideration. These aren't people dressing up as clowns to have fun. These are genuine clowns who have finally banded together, and they are trying to cause harm to the community. This is domestic clown terrorism. I'm going to go back to a clip here real quick.
It's right over here. We don't even want our kids to come outside anymore. It started in South Carolina, and now it's up here.
They don't even want their children to go outside anymore. These are
clowns.
These are genuinely scared people. These people are genuinely scared for the safety and the well-being of their children.
Over something that like isn't necessarily clowns are dangerous, but
we don't know if they're not.
be.
They can be. We don't know if they're not dangerous.
it's like any wild animal.
We don't know.
You know, like any wild animal's the same way. You know, you just don't go and take a fox and stick it in your house. You know, it's a wild animal.
I've been saying for years, this is why the separation of church and state is so important. Because the church will not allow the scientific community to do the research on these clowns. The research is not there. It is not funded. And that's why the main reason that there should be the separation between church and state. Back to the clip here.
That's nerve-wracking.
How do you know if you see a clown? How would you know? I'm going to play a clip here for you to help you figure that out.
Seen here near East 29th Street was said to be wearing white overalls, white gloves, red shoes, red nose, and red hair.
Okay, so the checklist. Overalls, red shoes, white gloves, red nose, red hair. If you see 2 or more of these distinguishing features, that's probably a clown.
Yeah. The white overalls and stuff, that could be, mind you, there's many different things, but the older attire of clowns that you see, obviously...
It can vary. I have another clip here about bewaring the clown.
To a disturbing report out of Greenville, South Carolina, in a neighborhood there. People living there say a clown...
This is the initial report from Greenville, South Carolina. This is before everyone started taking this seriously.
Is trying to lure children into the woods. This all started back on Sunday.
Daniel, this started on Sunday, and you have a child.
Yeah.
People say it's a person dressed in circus clown clothing with white face paint.
So if you see circus clown type clothing, now keep in mind here, just like in the wild, butterflies have different colors, the clowns will have different colors, but you have to notice and identify these types of clothing.
They say he uses money and candy to get children's attention.
Fuck, he would get my attention too. This is a concern that we need to address.
Money and candy.
Money and candy are the 2 things that make me happy.
It used to be just candy.
It used to be just candy, but now kids are smart. You got to give
Kids
them
are smart,
cash.
so it's like, you know, you say, hey kid, you want to make $20? It's like, oh wait.
Absolutely, I want to make $20.
Eric says the story is so outrageous it's difficult to believe.
At first I thought he was telling a fib.
And this is local resident Donna Arnold.
And I told him, I said, go in the house, and, you know, we'll talk about this one again, because I didn't want it all over the place.
And then the next day, there was like 30 kids come up to me and said, Miss Donna, there's clowns in the woods, there's clowns in the woods. There's clowns in the woods, clowns in the woods.
These children are saying clowns. They're not saying clown. This is more, clowns pluralized means more than one clown. And all joking aside, what if this is a serious situation? What if we are being attacked by a group of domestic terrorist clowns who are trying to take our children in exchange for cash?
For cash.
Before you know it, just like these payday loan places, there are going to be cash for children places all over the town. There are going to be confetti. It's gonna be a mess. It's not a good thing. This is terrible.
Well, let's not jump the gun on the fact that like we all should be like, if you see a clown in your town, like, you know, because clowns. I've known many of them in my lifetime. I've studied them for a long time. You know, you can't just take that every single clown that you see is bad.
But you never know. It's hard to tell.
I mean, like anybody, normal people you can't tell. But I mean, you know, yeah, you just gotta be careful.
If you see a happy clown, you don't know if it's going to harm you or not. And it would be a different thing if this were one report.
Oh no, there's multiple reports across, like, multiple states right now.
Another clip from Kiro 7.
Carolina kids and their parents are really on edge after they say they've spotted spooky clowns trying to lure the kids into the woods. It sounds almost too strange to be true, but reporter Brianna Smith shows us everyone...
The pattern here is all reporters are saying, too strange to be true. Too strange to be true.
When is it not too strange exactly? Like after it's happened like 4 or 5 times? You know?
I think we need to put our guard up now before this becomes believable. Before this becomes something that we know can happen. We need to be ready for these clowns.
Says the scare is very real.
Right there at that tree back there.
Nat Arnold's mom is watching over him a little closer these days.
This is ridiculous. We got kids out here in this community.
That's after he came running home, saying he'd seen something strange in these woods.
One of them has all white face with black stars on around his eyes, and then one of them has a clown costume on and has red hair.
Clowns hidden through the
More than one, plural.
trees.
There was clowns running in the woods, and
Clowns, plural.
the kids that they had candy and they would give it to them if they came down.
And while the story sounds too strange to be true,
It sounds far-fetched. It sounds like it's really out there, but I don't believe it. I believe it's true because there's too many sightings.
the Arnolds soon learn
They're trying to convince these people that they are crazy. Who knows? Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. But more than a dozen reports of clowns. That's just a little too coincidental for me. Daniel Ryan, an expert on all things clown migration, when do you think we can expect clowns to start popping up in the greater Chattanooga area?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, you're talking about, though, like, South and North Carolina, which is, you know, 7 hours, 6 hours away. Like...
But they can easily jump on a train.
But what I'm saying is that's not that far. Even if they're in the woods and they're migrating this way, you're talking about days.
But it would take longer for them to get organized. I would say by mid-October, this could be a full-blown...
Well, and then you run into the issue, too, is that in October, in mid-October and into later October, since we have Halloween...
People are already going to be dressing up as clowns.
People are going to be dressing up as clowns.
So you're not going to be able to tell.
So then you have the fake clowns, but then you have the real clowns. You have people dressing up as bad clowns and doing jokes like, hey, you know, well, I'm crazy clown. How do you know which one of them's not crazy?
This is a call to everyone to please abandon your Halloween costume of a clown. We seriously need to be able to tell. We need to be able to tell. There are also sightings in Florida, Florida.
California, mysterious clowns popping up across the state and terrorizing people. Now it appears this peculiar phenomenon has made its way here to Jacksonville. This is surveillance video from a home in Springfield showing a costumed character walking up a sidewalk uninvited to a home and apparently
couple of
loitering
sightings
right there at the steps
in
leading up
Florida.
to the porch. Channel 4's Vic Micolucci talked to the homeowners and shows us more of these strange sightings.
More.
It's a scene
There's
straight
another
from
one.
a horror movie, but it's right here in Jacksonville. A Springfield resident's surveillance camera caught this creepy clown on his porch. He grabs
I
a
actually wonder
pumpkin.
why all the houses in Springfield have security cameras on the fronts.
But it's a good thing they do, or we wouldn't be aware of this issue.
Cameras in a porch. The clown stares awkwardly at the camera before disappearing into the darkness.
That's what you'll notice with these clowns. They will disappear into the darkness frequently. They come from the darkness, they go to the darkness. I just want everyone to be aware. We at Dusty Radio needed the public to take this seriously. Hold your children close and keep an eye out for clowns. Daniel Ryan, thank you for coming today and shedding some light on such a dark situation. Hopefully the next time we convene, it will be under better circumstances. Until then, hold your children a little tighter. Sleep with one eye open. You never know when a clown is already in your home.